Hi, welcome to the next round of ACG Upgrades. Today, we're going to be playing the Power to the People, Orzhov. So basically, we're going to be starting off with a Orzhov humans list and kind of proceed from there a little bit. I do think this deck is going to be a little bit interesting overall. So hopefully you guys agree. If you like this series, be sure you smash that like button, subscribe, hit that notification for future videos. We're on our way to 2,000 subs, or 1,000 subs, sorry. Let's get monetized together. And let's discuss this deck. This is before the last week of this content, and then we'll switch over to doing, I think, better, more interesting things regarding the future of Pioneer and competitive play. So let's get into it. So the starter deck, of course, this deck didn't really have any common synergy. The only thing that I thought this deck was trying to accomplish to stick with the actual flavor of the deck was Delaney. So it felt like this deck was built around it, and then everything else kind of just did extra double triggers based off of Delaney. So that's what we're going to stick with when coming to our actual build. Now, since this Power to the People, I want to stick it with humans, so I'm going to be converting this into a Orzhov humans list built around Delaney. So that's the plan. Hopefully this deck does okay. We do end up losing a lot of cards in this deck just because of the fact that, well, this is not really a humans deck, even though it's so weird. This deck has no actual synergies at all. So besides of Delaney. So besides that, that's what we're doing. Let's get into the other list. So the upgrades we're going to make clearly we're going to cut our lands down. I don't think we need that many lands. We're a aggro-ish deck, so we could trim that down. And we have a total of 17 planes. We do have a lot of white cards throughout, just creatures. And then we have some kicker stuff in the actual human selection, like Phyrexian Missionary. Then we have Dire Tactics and some Fatal Pushes as a little bit of choice of removal. So we have Bodyguard. It's a pretty sweet card, able to make it where it can protect something else that we own. We have Recruitment Officer as a way to just go through and look at the top four and then just, pick a card with mana value 3 or less, put it in our hand, which is every single creature in our deck. We have a Veteran Survivor as a 1 mana 2/1. At the end of the turn, second main phase, it should trigger twice. So we should be able to eat 2 cards with it. So we can get to the +3/+3 and a hexproof faster with this, thanks to Delaney. We have a Copper Vanguard as a way to boost our humans to be 3/1s. That does turn off the Delaney, but I think still just a very good human. Otherwise, we have Frontier Seeker. This is just a 2 mana 2/1. The ETBs, we can find a plains and put it in our hand. It's not the greatest of cards, but it's something. And we can maybe get 2 plains off of it. Missionary, this should actually trigger twice, so we should be able to get 2 creatures back from our graveyard to our hand for 4 mana. I'm pretty sure that's how that's going to work. Otherwise, it's a 2 mana 2/3 with lifelink, so it should trigger. And it's a reasonable body. A very common card that we see quite often is for Fiend's Informant. It's a nice 2 mana 2/1. This card does overlap with Greasefang. So I really would like a card that has a nice ETB to help Delaney, and also you could use it in other decks. So you're not just stuck with humans if you want to change things up. Of course, we have our one of Delaney that we start with. We have 4 Militia Buglers, which is a 3 mana 2/3 Vigilancer. That when it ETBs, you get to look at the top 4, put a creature with power 2 or less among them, put it in your hand, which is all of our creatures. So we have 3 Brave the Elements. It's a nice card that we could choose white and we choose whatever color we want to have pro from. So most of the time it's gonna be black or red, and then all of our white creatures get protection from that color. Fatal Push, just a premium removal spell. So we have 3 in the main, 1 in the side. It can basically answer any 2-drop or potentially up to a 4-drop. Dire Tactics is a nice 2 mana, exile target creature. Really nice against like the Heartfire hero, where you don't really want to allow him to do a dice trigger. So this is a nice way to get around that. Otherwise, sideboard, we have 2 Duresses to trade with our Fatal Pushes. Plus, we have 3 Sync Collectors, which are ETBs. Your opponent reveals their hand. You may choose an instant or sorcery. X out the card. With hopefully with Missionary or Delaney, we can get 2 cards. Paladin is a nice little creature we could bring in against mainly black-based decks and red-based decks. So it has basically pro black and red. So that's kind of nice. And then it has First Strike and Lifelink, so it's really good there. Against aggro, we have Imposing Sovereign, a 2 mana 2/1 creatures your opponents control enter tapped. So this is a very nice way of she's making our opponent's creatures tapped. We can get a lot more frisky and don't have to worry about blockers as much. And thanks to Pioneer Masters on Arena, these 2 cards have been downshifted to uncommon, so it's nice. Otherwise, we have 2 copies of Dawnbringer Cleric, 2 mana, 1/3. Basically, you could exile 1 card from a graveyard or destroy target enchantment. Those are the 2 most relevant modes. So we get maybe destroy a annex. So that's kind of what we're doing. Let's see if Power to the People version 1 has any potential. Next week, we're going to do the version with probably like 3 Delanies in it. And try to go a little bit more hard on the actual Delany plan. We might not actually be playing Vanguard next week. I'm not sure. Vanguard's good if you want to go a different route with humans. Just because Vanguard most of the time turns off Delany. So we might just end up trimming that for maybe even Thalia's Lieutenant. That probably should make the cut too. And Thalia. So there's a lot of options for next week. So let's get into it. We are on the play. And I figured we might actually draw a land here. So play the tap land. Say go. Of course, the biggest upgrades next week most likely will be the lands. We'll drop down on Informant, try to find another land potentially. Get rid of another Informant, say go. So next turn, hopefully we can triple spell or something like that. And tap land. This is very tricky. Hopefully we find a plains. We do. Play a Bodyguard. Protect the Ruffine's Informant. Smack. Go. A Fable. Very interesting. And a Craig. So we draw another land. I think I just Vanguard. I don't really want to invest anything more into a potential sweeper next turn. Okay, so now we get Pro Red. And shove. Go. Like I said, we don't want to play into a Sunfall. That doesn't make much sense. Skyclave Appetizers. Gets rid of a Vanguard. Okay. I guess that tells me he doesn't have a Wrath, right? If he had a Wrath, he'd just play it. He does not have a Swamp. So that's to be noted for Leyland Binding. We'll attack. Blocks and blocks. We hit him to 5. Make a 2/2. Kicker. I'm going to represent lethal, right? I guess take a Seeker. And that's going to flip. Okay, so we're going to play Recruitment Officer. And then pass. So now he needs more than just a Faithless Looting. Torch the tower. Alright, so not dead. Incarnation. So 4-drop. Probably has Zur. I think he only plays 1 Skyclave. What 4-drop? You have a Beza? Respectable. Okay. Had to get rid of that before the Yorion come down and blink it. Elish Norn. That's a problem. And a portable hole in the main. Really? The issue here is I'm pretty sure it would be an interest trigger. So, I mean, I got nothing to do with it. Go. Another portable hole. Okay. I guess all I could do is draw a dire tactics. That is not a dire tactics. What else can I draw? I think that's game. Fatal push out. Duress in. Paladins in. Cut some militias. Militia buglers. Kind of want some sovereign. For the most part, he's going to go very mid-rangey, so it's kind of different in this matchup, right? Because in this particular situation, we're going more on the lines that we want our opponent to. The threats they can cast aren't affecting the actual attacks. I know that might seem weird. I think Seeker we can cut. Say, we're not like that. Plains Officer View. Tap land. Catch ya. Go. But I hope that makes sense, right? Because traditionally we are playing the Sovereign for aggro. But at the exact same time, we kind of want a card in this matchup that allows us to tempo out our opponent. Because our objective here is just to get underneath them. And him having mid-range threats can stagnate our attacks. So I'd rather have a creature that just makes their creatures tapped. We can get that final point of damage across. Play Vanguard. Catch ya. Go. Now, he can't just play just a creature, I don't think. Portable hole. We're going to go pro-white. Now, he can have like a burn spell. So a Ganju. Yeah, that happens. I think I just said go. Go digging. Raffine's Informant. Play Raffine's Informant. Eat one of them. Shove. Hopefully you don't have a torch. Got it. Run it back. Officer, go. Now, for this particular, I think, setup, we want to play the Swamp and the Sovereign this turn. Next turn, we could play a tap land. Plus Dire. We'll see, actually, if it changes now. We have another Plains. Torches. Alright, play the Paladin. Go. So, that should be a lot harder for him to answer. Okay, respectable. Play Backstreet. Don't need any more lands. Get frisky, say go. There goes our board. Go ahead and kick. Get back a Paladin. Play Bodyguard. Ship the turn. We have 5 mana at this point. I think we keep. Going forward, we start keeping lands in case we find, you know, a Raffine's Informant. We want to be able to start pitching these lands. Exile Dire. Smack for 2. Takes. Okay. Chomps. Go. Overlord of the Mistmoors. So that means he probably will get this Yorion down next turn. Blinks to Overlord. This is definitely look like it's slipping away. Get frisky. Alright, say go. You can't officer at the end of the turn. Like I said, Yorion's probably coming down now. Blinking the Overlord of the Mistmoors. Oh. That just seemed incorrect to me, but okay. Go ahead and duress. A Gulta. Now that's some spice. You could sack a Overlord to get that. Go. That is some real spice, though. Ellis Norn. Go. And the issue here is, though, kind of just stuck. I think we just lose. 0-1. Let's get into the next. Land, go. Nazis. Take a Bugler, I guess? Or Brave. Takes my 2-drop. Alright. Go. Actually, we'll just cast one of these. That's fine. Play Bugler. Play, take a Rafine's Informant. Yeah, check, go. Okay, a Coast. Play Rafine's Informant. That's fine. I guess Bugler? Backstreet. This does not look like a Fated Flesh matchup. Hitcha. I think I leave up Brave the Elements. Just in case. I'm still not sure what this is. Smack you. Yep. And to hit you. Alright, got game 1. So we're basing some sort of Thoughtseize based deck. Probably Paladin. Down a Bugler. Down Fatal Push. Up Duress. Run it like that. So no Duress, no Thoughtseize this time. We'll go ahead and Duress you. Take no more lives, they go. Can't really double spell. So I think I go ahead and say Survivor. Go. So he has an R set available. He also has a Disallow. So that's fair. Narset probably trying to dig in for a better removal or counter. Play a Bugler. Get a Vanguard to help boost her team. Hit ya. Eat your no more lives. They go.
Meditate and prepare.
So Emperor is now up. So I think my goal here is the Vanguard. Try to bait a counter. Tap land. So face. Get rid of the Narset. Eat the Narset. Say go. And that works. I think I Paladin. Say go. So racing control. I don't think I want Dire Tactics. So we need to be very aware of the farewell. So I think I need to start setting up post-Wrath. Bugler is the best choice. Hitcha. Emperor, that's fair.
Run away. You'll be safer.
Give it pro white. Hitcha. Now, this might make him farewell. But you also might just stop these.
Show them how we greet our enemies.
That's fair. So now we start rebuilding. Take Delaney. Play Delaney. Play land, say go. So now we got our best creature. The creature our entire deck is built around. And we got one of them. But we're happy with this result. And it looks like he doesn't have any kind of removal just yet. He does have, weirdly enough, a Thoughtseize with a counter spell, which is kind of backwards. Marches. Okay.
May your blade strike.
No counter. Or no Thoughtseize, huh? We'll go ahead and try to Dire. That's fair. We'll go ahead and try to hit the Wandering Emperor. Make you want to block. Yeah, go ahead. So now our best bet is, of course, to keep the planes. Try to get him to use the Thoughtseize. Magically top decks and get lost, huh? Do you make a 2-2? No, he just makes puts a counter.
Strike fast and strike hard.
So he should disallow this. But that would be playing right towards us. Thankfully, he used it. Now we just pass.
Let your blade do the talking.
Yep. Probably gonna uptick.
I have got new
Take our
moves to
beats.
teach you.
Another land, huh? Say go. So we only have 13 lands left. So we definitely need to be prepared for game 3, I think. I'm assuming this is going to game 3.
Show them how we greet our enemies.
Play a Seeker? I mean, I don't know what this is really honestly doing. Go ahead. I guess the best thing it's doing, right, is allowing me to use my maps. To vary.
Keep up the pace.
Guards, to me.
Thoughtseizes. Can I please run on land? Swamp. Go. I guess I shouldn't have done that, because now he kind of knows we have a destroy land. Right?
Let's skip
Because of the fact that Arena just gives it away. So you need to keep that in mind. Like, it's very easy in that regard to cheat on Arena.
Got new moves.
You may not inadvertently try to do it, but Arena just naturally passes your turn if you don't have a play. But now we're just edge. Alright, so we're facing control. We're going to definitely cut that. We're definitely going to go with the Sin Collectors, I think. And I think Bugler is fine. The removal is a mixture, so I don't think this is as good as I thought. Run it like that. Plains Officer. The Sin Collector hopefully could do some work. Play another Officer. Smack. Goop. Now we get to play a Sin Collector. Probably wait until after attacks, though. I want you to use removal on that. Didn't seem to work. Now we Sin Collector. That's right. We play good humans. Okay. Get rid of a Supreme Verdict. Crack here. Crack here. Meh. Catch ya. So he's 2 turns away. It's probably bait that normalize. Yeah. Because he can't really allow me to play another creature. Catch it, say go. We have lethal. I'm assuming potentially a Supreme Verdict is happening. If all else fails, we just draw with the Recruitment Officer. Got it. 1 and 1. Let's get into the next. So tap land. think I lead off with a survivor and say go. Hopefully we can get our last win here. Hopefully next week we do a lot better. Boros. One of which is a snow cover plains. Interesting. Play a Seeker. Take a Plains. Smack. Response. Okay. Play a Seeker. If we get more lands, it's fine, right? We're just literally trying to get rid of it in our deck as much as we can. Then again, we are putting, like, weirdly enough, a bunch of non-lands at the bottom. Yep. Opus. So this is probably conned. If I had to guess, right? So Opus plus a removal spell that's very expensive tells me this is most likely conned. The treasure version, of course. So Quintorius might be able to get us. Like, we do have some stuff for this, but these fatal pushes are bad. You could con right now, actually. No. So I think I have to Bugler plus Officer. I need to just close this out now. After knowing what the deck is that I'm facing, most likely, I kind of have to just close this game out quick. Vanguard looks like the perfect card for that. Play on Officers. And we need to get Frisky for 2 or 4. Assuming one gets answered, though. Say you. Trumpeting Carnosaur. Copies the Trumpeting Carnosaur. So this should be pretty much lethal too, right? Spark Double, the Carnosaur. Another Spark Double, another Carnosaur. So this is basically the deck. Eventually they'll hit Conned, which I think they just did. Now they should be able to just make infinite cons. They did waste 2 Spark Doubles on a Trumpeting Carnosaur, which makes them a little bit harder to actually pull this off. Somehow he pulls into his 3rd Spark Double. That's insane. Because, I mean, that seems very unlikely. It seems more likely he's going to hit something like Mythos and stuff like this. Impersonator. Yeah, like, you expected those, but getting 3 Spark Doubles that close. But now we just lose. Okay, so we don't want pushes. We don't want dire tactics. What are we going up? Maybe Duress, Fear. Question is, do I want Sin Collector? I don't want too many 3-drops. Something like this I think makes sense. Cut 1 Seeker, 1 Bugler, up 3 Sin Collectors. I don't like that. Plains. Go. Triumph, sure. Rafine's Informant. That seems kind of nice. Get rid of the Brave. Go. So, next turn I have 3 mana. I think I Informant again. I do need to get this Damping Sphere down. Yeah, let's go ahead and Informant. It's a faster clock, I think, than Militia. Yeah, actually, go, because it's a 3-2 instead of 2-3. So next turn, I'm going to play another Rafine's Informant, play a Sphere, and try to smack the 3rd one. What do you guys say about that? Get rid of the Survivor. Smack you for 6. This will hopefully bait some sort of removal, which allows me to get this Damping Sphere down. Sure. Yep. I think that's correct. So that slows him down. Unless he has some sort of artifact hate. He might. Play a sort of veteran survivor. At this point, I just kind of have to do as much as I can. And I need to probably leave a brave here. Assuming he has removal right now. Yeah, pro red. Yep. You're at 8. So we technically are presenting lethal on board. So he has a con. Probably upticks the con. But you're just kind of dead. Yeah, run it back. Tap land, go. So if I draw, let's say if I draw an untap land, but then actually change course here, go. So I think I want to inform it next turn. I need to make sure I hit my land drops. Get rid of the militia bugler. Sweet. And attempt to smack you. Play a bodyguard. Honorary Fiends informant. Go. If we could somehow pull off a win here, that'd be quite impressive. Considering the fact that we're not really built for this matchup, necessarily. I mean, we have Damping Spheres, but we don't really have values with Tenet or Mythalia itself. Like, she would be quite powerful in this matchup. Attempt to Sink Collector. Tried to delay this a little bit. I don't know if that's going to work or not. I can't imagine the other options are better than this. So they do have a binding. I think I get rid of that one. Cracks it, sure. So he gets a binding. Probably gets a white source. I'm not really sure why he has snow cover planes. So there goes our informant. That's understandable. Smack, go. See if he can't pull this one out. I mean, he doesn't have a con. So that's kind of nice. You can't auto war, I guess. Play it. Probably plays a Pistachio as a land. So he could have probably enough mana to do a con later. He has the red. He has the white. So he has the mana for it. Impersonator to copy the binding. That's fair. So I could get rid of this. Is that worth it? Maybe. Let's just go ahead and go for it. Attack. Next turn we try to go... Can we go for lethal next turn? So that's 9 points of damage. So we're 5 short. Please no con. Alright, those two are gone. So we're definitely going to play the Vanguard. Oh my gosh, that was perfect. So now we're doing... well... down to 2. They go. So it's all in this one turn. He has to answer a lot of things. He can't. 2-1 with a deck. What a great way to start off with this deck with a banger. Next week, we said we'll come up back with all the rares and mythics. Let's get into the wrap up. So what do we learn this week about this deck overall? We went 2-1, not a terrible performance. We definitely take a hit with the fact that we don't have that many good closers necessarily in the deck. Once we upgrade the mana base, I think it's going to be a lot better first. Just because of the fact that for one, we get more access to black mana. We gain access to better dual lands like Courtyard. Godless Shrine, etc., etc. We get access to Mutavault, potentially in our mana base, maybe like 2 to 3 copies, so we could have more attackers and get more aggressive. Bugler actually did it pretty reasonably. Format also did pretty solid, so I was actually kind of happy with them. Actually, in the deck, the Phyrexian Mercenary also did pretty reasonable in the matchups. We did play it. We did struggle, of course, against the go over the top of us, whereas we're not really as fast as the most fastest aggro decks. So we struggled in a matchup where they can just go over the top of you relatively quick. But besides that, we beat Control, and we managed to beat the last deck as well. So, Contorious Con. So, overall, I'm pretty happy. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about this list. I'll talk to you guys next time.